Welcome back to the Slay the Spire 2 at home video series where we try to make a homemade version of Slay the Spire 2, one tiny piece at a time. So for today, we're going to try to add Alchemize, Ultimate Strike, and Ultimate Defend, right? So in the previous episode, we added our lead paperweight, and as when we added that, right, we had our colorless card pool, which we had to remove a bunch of cards from, well, a couple of cards from, because they didn't make it into Slay the Spire 2, right? So Bandage Up, Blind, and Apotheosis was changed, right? So now we need to add, at least a couple cards to this Slay the Spire 2 colorless card pool, so it's not the same every time, right? And the reason I guess I decided to do Alchemize for the rare card that we're adding, right, is because I realized that we have a little bit of a, well, inefficiency here, right? So when we're upgrading our Apotheosis, right, we're upgrading our Barricade, right, and then we're upgrading our Body Slam, we've got code in the script for those cards themselves, to change their cost, right? But that's actually not what we want to be doing, probably, right? Because I mean, this is just saying, like, I mean, when Apotheosis is upgraded, like the cost becomes, one, right? But you could say that about any card that upgrades when and it has its cost be one when upgraded, right? And same with Barricade with cost being. So we need to move the cost stuff, right? Like when cards are upgraded into the base card class and not have it be, a specific, well, not be in the derived classes of cards, right? Because, I mean, this isn't anything Apotheosis specific, right? This is just when you upgrade a card, it becomes the upgraded cost, right? So yeah, so we need to fix that, right? And it's kind of some extra work now, but in the long run, I think it'll be good, right? So let's do that, right? So we need to move unupgraded, or rather upgraded cost, right, into the base class of card and make it an export variable, right? So let's do that. So let's put that right under cost here, and then we call it, export. Uh-oh. Yeah. Var upgraded cost. And let's see if we can make it default to cost. I wonder if you're allowed to do that in Godot, but we'll see, right? And then, okay, so we've got this going on. We need to remove this thing from Barricade, right? And and we're going to remove the override for upgrade, right? And we're going to do the same thing for Apotheosis, right? And this is just hard coded right now, so we kind of need to, yeah. So let's get rid of this. We remove the thing from Body Slam, right? And then in the card function, okay, so we need to go to those resource files and change them if necessary, right? So they have the right values in there. So old Apotheosis, right? That'll be 1, right? Okay, so maybe oh yeah, well, it was hard coded for Apotheosis before. Let's see how it is for Barricade. If we go into the Barricade, no, I guess you can't do that. So I guess we do have to manually tweak it for each one. Is that okay? So we'll have to do that for the other cards too, right? But that can wait until after the episode. I'll do that, not recorded, like after the episode, right? So all the cards will have to, be refactored to. And this is 0 because it's just 0, right? And then anger, yeah. So we're going to have to do some refactoring. Yeah. So we can't. Oh wait, well we can get rid of this, right? Right. Let me make sure that still looks right. Okay. Yeah, but okay. So yeah, we're going to have to refactor all the cards, but we can do that at the end. Oh wow! After this episode, before the next episode, I'll just do that myself and not have to record it. So yeah, so I guess if this doesn't work, we'll just make it. Uh, I mean, do we just want to make it 0 or we can just not have it be set? I guess. Yeah, let's just do that if that doesn't actually help us, right? And so when we're testing, I guess we should at least do some the starters, right? So during this episode, so let's make the ironclad starter cards at least have the right values. So bash, the upgraded cost will be 2, right? And then defend, I should just press save also. Defend, upgraded cost will be 1, right? Yeah, so we're going to have to do that for all the cards eventually, but yeah, I can do that myself. Okay, so here we're starting to get a little bit bloated here, so why don't we just have like make this into a couple of different groups, so we split them up a bit, right? So this is like, so these can be like keyword related attributes, right? That aren't used nearly as often for, for cards, playable, eternal, ethereal, end of discard effect, yeah. Well, exhaust should also be a keyword one, right? So let's move that over down here, right? Um, yeah, just so we'll do it like this. This is like one that not needs to be in the inspector, but does need to be serialized. Yeah, okay, so we'll have it like that, right? And so now we need to fix, oh yeah, these are just, yeah, okay, that's just from the body slam before. So now we need to actually change the upgrade function to take into account the upgraded cost, right? So that's going to be part of the card base class. And so I've already thought of that, right? So basically, it'll be this thing. And I'll explain that in a second, right? So like the previous function that we had in here, right? This is a comment. Oh yeah, it's a GD script comments or pound sign, right? Okay. So cards, when they are upgraded, right? If they're something that can be upgraded, so right now we're just saying if it's not a curse or a status, it becomes upgraded. Oh, we do need to move that down here, but I'll explain that in a second too. Okay, so when a card is upgraded, if it's eligible to be upgraded, right? Because not just outside of combat, the cost changes, right? So when you're fighting something in Slay the Spire or Slay the Spire 2, right, there are things that can modify the cost of a card within a particular fight. Let's say you're confused from a Snecko Eye, or a Snecko in original Slay the Spire is hit you with confused, or you had some other thing that helps you modify the cards, the cost of your cards, like just for that battle, right? So if the card is not already upgraded, right, and then the cost is not equal to the upgraded costs, like for the cards, like, so the way it works in Slay the Spire, this is just something that, Slay the Spire, very Slay the Spire specific, that you would only know if you played Slay the Spire before, right? But if the current cost, like, has been, due to confused or whatever, is still greater than 0, then the cost becomes like the upgraded cost of the card, right? So even when it's like from 3, when let's say for a barricade, the base cost of the card is 3, the upgraded cost is 2, and then Snecko Eye made it 1, right? It'll still increase the cost from 1 to 2. That's just what happens in Slay Spire. So we'll have to make sure that in the future, like, we keep in mind, like, well, does it work the same way in Slay Spire 2? I think it does. That might be something we have to, keep an eye on in the future, right? But if you've got a 0 cost card from Snecko Eye or something else, right, then the cost stays at 0 even after you upgraded the card, right? And then for cards that don't change their cost when upgraded, right? Their cost doesn't change when you upgrade them, right? Like, yeah, like, even if their cost got changed by confused status before, right? And so this is very, very Slay the Spire specific stuff, right? And you would only know this if you'd played Slay the Spire before, and that's just how, or like the specific rules of this specific game, right? Okay, but when you upgrade a card, right? So that's what happens to the cost in combat, like the current cost in combat, it becomes upgraded, and then the cost becomes like the base upgraded cost. So that should fix our, yeah, this should be the thing for, the cards. And I'll have to go through, like, after this episode, and, like, make sure that, you know, that we have the right value here for the upgraded cost, because now, where we set them all to 0. So I'll have to go and fix that. But, that's outside the scope of this episode, right? So for now, let's just add the Alchemize, Ultimate Strike, Ultimate Defend, and then call it good for now, right? So, and this is the reason why we chose Alchemize, because this is a card that when it's upgraded, right, the cost decreases from 1 to 0, right? So that's just something, yeah, that we need to do. Okay, so in Slay the Spire 2, though, Alchemize is a colorless card. It is no longer a silent card, right? So, yeah, let's make that clear. So if you've been in a coma or something, right, that, Alchemize in Slay the Spire 2 is a colorless rare card, not a silent rare card. So let's make a script that inherits from card, right? We'll call it the Alchemize script. Yeah, so this will be our Alchemize card. The card effect, basically, right? Yeah, Alchemize. And then so like all the other cards, right, they'll have some effects, right? So we need to do some of this. So Alchemize, it's pretty simple, right? Like we just use the default tooltip like from the card base class. So the upgrade preview tooltip, yeah, that doesn't change either, right? And then the updated tooltip, like Alchemize, the text is the same, like regardless of how much strength you have. So nothing needs to change, right? So we don't even need to override any of these functions, right? But what we do need to do is that for the apply effects function, right? We do need to override that, just like we do for just about every card that needs to script. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode is that since the last episode we did change the card display to show the. I'll show that also. Card display. So to show the colorless energy icon for colorless cards, right? Because we forgot to do that the previous episode. And then we did refactor our block and card draw card, like for finesse, drug it off to take the card draw when upgraded as a parameter, right? So it's more robust. We can use this for other cards that, kind of block and draw more than one card, right? So now, yeah, we've refactored that, so we do need to keep out for bugs. But now it's not hard coded to just draw one card, right? We even have some janky, things to change from card to cards if it's more than one card, right? Right now, we're only using this for finesse and shrug it off, but it'll be something handy in the future if we do have a card that blocks and then draws more than one card, right? But yeah, okay. But back to our alchemize, right? So we do need to do something like to apply the effects of the alchemize card. So when you play an Alchemize, you get a potion unless your potion belt is full, right? And then too bad, like you still played the Alchemize, you still paid the energy, you still exhausted the card. You don't get a potion though, right? That's just how it works in Slay the Spire. So like when you play Alchemize, you better make sure you actually have a potion slot. Otherwise, it's you're not going to do anything good, right? And so we just use the code that we have before we started making YouTube videos, or when you're buying a potion from the shop. It's basically the same thing, right? Except you're not paying the gold to the shop and stuff like that. But okay, so when we're playing Alchemize, right, we see if we have an empty slot on our potion belt. If we don't, like, we're done, right? That's just our card effect right there. And then otherwise, let's see, we see like which index in the which slot was open, right? And then okay, so we need to say it's not just potion. We need to say like a random potion, right? So we say global dot. So I think I have a function in here in the global class that I made, and again before I started making the YouTube videos, right? To get a random potion. So to just generate potion, right? So yeah. So global.generate potion. So that's that, right? And then, well, we don't need this, so we can do this too, right? Okay, so when you play Alchemize, that's what happens, right? Okay, so let's make the resource file for the Alchemize card, right? And then so before this episode, right, so I just downloaded all the card images from untappedgg.gg, and then I kind of just, very quick and dirty image thing to just get the card image out of the out of the card frame, right? So yeah, and I put those in our project folder so we can access them. Okay, so now let's say okay, so we need to make the resource file for the Alchemize card, right? Because yeah, okay, so make a resource Alchemize. Oh no, yeah, it's an Alchemize, and this can be alchemize.tres. Yeah, and then yeah, so this will be a colorless card. His name is Alchemize, ID Alchemize. It's a skill. It is a rare. It is a Yes, single target. It costs 1. The upgraded cost is 0, right? It does exhaust. Okay, so the tooltip text is just this, right? Procure a random potion, exhaust. And eventually we will need to decouple the keyword like tooltips like exhaust and then, unplayable and replay. Decouple this from, the card resources, but for now, that can wait until later. Like that's a little bit out of scope for now. But we will have to do something like that eventually, right? To not have the, keywords be part of the card tooltip because things can add keywords like just at runtime, right? Like if you have an enchant that adds replay, right, or a hidden gem, you play the hidden gem, it adds replay. But for now, and there's also things that can make cards exhaust when they don't normally exhaust, and we do need to make sure that the tooltip is being generated dynamically and not yeah. But for now, it's good enough, right? We'll just say procure a random potion, and then or equals gold exhaust. Yeah. Okay, so in the future, yeah, the exhaust will have to be decoupled from the card, but for now, we're fine. And the upgrade preview text is the same. Like the thing that changes is the cost of the card, not the actual, you know, not the actual text here. So that's our resource, right? So we need to add that to our colorless card pool, where we add Alchemize right there. Yeah, and also what we need to do is that the potion pool in Slay the Spire 2 is different than the potion pool in the original Slay the Spire, right? So let's duplicate our potion pool. So this will be the Slay the Spire 2 potion pool, right? And then, well, we need to make some changes. Like, so for now, we don't care about renaming the explosive potion to an explosive ampule, changing the graphics or anything like that. We don't care about renaming the cultist potion to be Mazareth's gift or whatever it's called in Slay the Spire 2, right? Because it does the same thing. That's we don't care about that right now. That's something we can do later or even not do. Like, yeah. But we do need to do some other stuff, right? Ancient Potion is not in Slay the Spire 2, right? And Essence of Steel isn't in Slay the Spire 2. Heart of Iron. Heart of Iron is changed compared to the original Slay the Spire, right? It gives 7 plating and not 6 metallicized, and we haven't implemented plating in our Slay the Spire 2 project yet. So for now, we need to get rid of that, right? So get rid of Ancient Potion, Essence of Steel, Heart of Iron for now, right? So we're left with Blessing of the Forge, Block Potion, Dex Potion, Energy Potion, Explosive Potion, like not Explosive Ampule, right? We don't care about that. And then we'll have a Cultist Potion instead of Mazareth. But that's fine, right? So now let's go into our yeah, at the start of the game, like when we're setting our potion pool, right, it's going to be the Slay the Spire 2 potion pool, not the yeah. Okay, so when we play Alchemize, we're not going to get the original Slay the Spire potions, right? Well, yeah. Okay, so we did that, right? So that's Alchemize. Alchemize is done, right? So now we do Ultimate Defend, right? So right now we have Defend being its own special script, and we probably don't want to do that, right? Because Defend can just be a generic script. Like there's other cards that just do Defend, like Impervious, for example, right? So let's also refactor Defend to be yeah, a generic script, right? So instead of being defend, it'll just be basic block damage. And then to handle the case with fasten later, right? Well, we can just do something sort of like we'll just basically have a new type of modifier that we add that, kind of, we'll handle that there. And it won't be like tied to the card script, right? So basically though, right now we have, so right now, let me bring that up actually just to show it. So yeah, we have the modifier things and so we have like a block gain modifier, right? And then there's modifier values that have like, well, it's this percent or base. So we'll probably just need to do something that we add a new type to the modifier value for fasten, and then it'll be like we'll have a new string for like, well, what card IDs that modifier type affects, and then we'll just put defend there. So that way, like, we're not doing some weird hard-coded thing where, we're putting fasten in the defend script, right? So defend can be its own separate script, or, well, a shared script between block cards. And then, so, yeah, let's do that, though. So fasten can work, can wait until later. For now, we do want to make the defend script, kind of, yeah. So this will be renamed into like basic block card, right? Yeah. So instead of being defend, it's basic block card now. And then the base block, well, we'll just default them to 0, right? And then so for defend, we'll just, now that we've changed the values, right, we do need to change defend back to, the 5 and 8, right? Oh yeah, these need to be export variables now. Okay, so defend is, yeah, still 5 and 8, but yeah. Okay, so we did that, right? So now defend is a basic block card instead of being its own special class, right? So now we need to go to the impervious class, right? And then, so instead of impervious being its own special thing, right, it's going to just be a basic block card. And then it'll be 30 when, not upgraded 40, right? And then we don't need this impervious script anymore because, yeah, now they're just using the same shared script. So we're being a bit more efficient, and then, yeah. And so now we're not having to, when we change something, we don't have to change it in like so many places, right? So no more impervious special script. All right, so now when we make ultimate defend, right, it's also going to use this shared basic, basic block script, right? So this will be a colorless uncommon, right? So we don't even need to make a new script, right? Well, in the Slay the Spire 2 uncommon, not an original Slay the Spire uncommon. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So when we're making the resource file for ultimate defend, it'll be a basic block card, right? And then this will be ultimate defend .tres, yeah. And then, so it'll be 11, and then, what, is it 15 when upgraded? We should check that, right? So let's go to, just to make sure. I think it was 15. I don't think it was 16, right? So so let me just bring up, oh yeah, let me filter colorless. Hold on. Okay, so ultimate defend, ultimate strike. Yeah, so ultimate defend is, yeah, 15. So yeah, so we do that, all right? So the name is ultimate defend, ID is ultimate defend, type is a skill card, rarity uncommon, cost upgraded cost is 1. Okay, so that stuff can be default, right? Okay, so we give it the icon. Oh, do we remember to put the icon for Alchemize? I should probably check that, right? No, we didn't. We forgot. So we do need to fix that. So rare. Oh no, Slay the Spire 2. Okay, so this is Alchemize for the Alchemize card, right? And then for Ultimate Defend, we give it the Ultimate Defend. All right, and then the tooltip text will just be the same as defend, basically, right? Because, yeah, it's just with a different value that for the string interpolation. Yeah. So let's go into Ironclad starter and then just copy the thing, right? So this will just be, yeah. So open up our ultimate defend. Yeah. So the same thing. And then also the same thing for the upgrade preview, right? We just put in a different number. So ultimate defend, when you upgrade it, it's not 8, it's just 15 rather, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's ultimate defend. So let's add that to the colorless card pool, right, for Slay the Spire 2. So we'll do that. So now, yeah, so ultimate defend. So that can be in the uncommon section, yeah. And now we just do the same thing in ultimate strikes. And so we already had a card script for basic attack, right? That was kind of shared between a lot of different damage cards, right? So we don't have to do what we just did for ultimate defend and make it a shared script because we already did that for the strike, right? So let's make the ultimate strike now. So we do that. That shouldn't take too long. We'll make a new resource. It's a basic attack card, or what do we call it? Basic damage? Maybe yeah. Basic damage card, excuse me. Ultimate strike .tres. All right, so the base damage is 14, upgraded damage is 20, right? We probably do want to check that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let me make sure I have the right resource file selected also, and not doing something weird. Okay, yeah, we do. All right, so the It's a colorless. It's called Ultimate Strike. Ultimate Strike. And then attack, it's uncommon. Target is single enemy. Cost 1, upgraded cost 1. It's playable. Okay, yeah. So let's put the image there, right? That, and so I mean, basically that's just the this image that I stripped out of the the card images from untapped.gg. And then the tooltip text is kind of the same as for normal strike, right? But for with different values. So ultimate strike. It'll just be that, and then it'll just be instead of 9 when upgraded, it'll be 20, right? So now we have ultimate strike.tres, and then we will let's add ultimate strike here. Okay, so now that's where we're at, right? So now we test this stuff, and we don't want to like keep restarting the game until we get lead paperweight, right? So I guess we'll go just put that in our cheat block, right? So we'll add Alchemize, Ultimate Strike, and Ultimate Defend to our deck at the start, right? And then we'll test the. Maybe I should have like wrote that down too. So testing, like we'll test basic functionality of Alchemize, Ultimate Defend, Ultimate Strike. Test the card upgrade preview text also, right? Yeah. So we'll do that. So in our cheating function, we'll add, not this stuff, right? We'll add Slay the Spire. So what folder do we put them in? So colorless, right? It's 2, and then we'll make a rare, then apotheosis. No, not apotheosis, alchemize. Right, colorless, STS2. Oh, so there's no. Yeah, alchemize. We add Alchemize to our deck at the start, right? And then we'll also do the same thing for Ultimate Strike and Ultimate Defend. Okay, yeah, and then we'll do the same thing for Ultimate Strike. Just to test them real quick. All right, so let's start this up. See if that worked. All right, so we do this. Okay, so right now, well, we did already fix the upgraded cost of the starters, right? Like in terms of, so yeah, so there's still 2, right? We didn't mess that up when we're going to have to fix it for all the other cards, right? But we can do that after we record this. So let's just make sure the card upgrade works right for these. So is that the right text? Procure a random potion for Alchemize? Yeah, okay. Exhaust and gold. Okay, so yeah, I mean, yeah, more or less, that's what we want to see, right? I mean, our exact font size is a little bit different than in scale, but we don't care about that for now. Okay, so let's just see. Can we? Okay, so that cost does become 0, right? That looks right. How about this? Yeah, that looks right. Okay, that looks right also, right? So let's just upgrade batch for now, and then just test the unupgraded versions of our cards, right? So make sure we gain 11 block. Okay, that looks right. Do we do 14 damage? So this should go to 29. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Make sure we gain a potion, right? And this should go into our leftmost potion slot. Yeah, okay, we did get our strength potion. Alchemize did exhaust, so looking good there, right? Okay, so we tested the unupgraded versions of the cards, right? So let's get to a camp, and then let's... this is probably not the best. Let's just restart, right? We'll get a Pomander or something. So we need to test the upgraded version of something, right? I mean, I just remove a card. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so or we could just gotten a Pomander too, but yeah, we've got our cheating Ultimate Strike. Okay, let's just fight our way to a camp, I guess, right? And then we'll just we'll upgrade one of the cards and test that. I'm probably fine, right? So right now, if we take one of these other cards that we haven't adjusted yet for our card cost refactor, it's not going to work, right? Because we still need to fix all the resource files, and I'll do that after this video. But I can take one and demonstrate it, right? Okay, so we got the card upgrade, the Shining Light event from original Slay the Spire, which I haven't taken out yet, right? Okay, so that hit on 2 strikes. All right, so now we just need to get to the camp, right? So we can upgrade a card and test the upgraded functionality of, yeah. Yeah, so right here, if I go into upgrade Inflame or, Pommel Strike, the upgraded cost, I need to refactor that because right now it's going to show 0 because I haven't fixed the resource files, right? That's based on the changes we did earlier this episode. So after this episode, I'll just go refactor all the cards, right? But for now, we're just testing Alchemize, Ultimate Defend, Ultimate Strike. So make sure the cost is 0 and it actually plays for 0, right? Just remove a card. Okay, so let's make sure we can actually play an Alchemize for 0, right? Okay, so make sure we don't lose energy while gaining a potion. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that worked, right? Okay, so let's restart. Let's test upgraded Ultimate Strike, Ultimate Defend. And maybe we'll even get a Pomander to speed things up. No, we don't. Okay, well, we'll just take an Oyster. Well, let's just get to a camp again, right? Okay, so let's just fight our way to the... I mean, at least it's a little faster because we got our cheating cards that we added to our deck at the start of the run, right? Yeah. Okay, so we need to get to a... Oh, okay, maybe this is speed things. No, we got Bash and Strike. Okay, Shining Light event failed us again. All right, so I'll go here. Okay, now we want to test Ultimate Defend, I guess. Or no, let's test Ultimate Strike first. Make sure it does 20 damage. Here, okay, 20 damage, yeah. Okay, that's right, right? So let's test Ultimate Defend also, just to make sure it's doing what it's doing, right? Maybe we even get a Pomander. No, we don't. All right. Yeah, I guess we just draw cards. We're nowhere near a camp. I'll have to restart. Maybe we get a Pomander. No, we don't. Okay, well, are we close to a camp? Well, yeah, let's just go to the camp after 2 fights. We've got some cheating cards to help us get to the camp faster anyways. All right, so let's do that. All right, so we just make sure we're getting the right amount of block from Ultimate Defend, right? When it's upgraded. All right, so let's... Oh, we can upgrade it here. Okay, so we upgraded Ultimate Defend. I mean, we just upgrade Bash, I guess. Then, yeah, so Ultimate Defend needs to be doing 15 block now, right? Let me make sure that... Oh, the text is kind of too big, right? We don't care about that for now. We're still early on, right? Okay, 15 block. So yeah, now we're where we want to be, and so yeah, this is a pretty chill episode, right? Our scope was pretty pretty small. We just wanted to add some colorless cards to replace what we did last time. We refactored our card cost logic to move the logic into the base class, right? So what I do need to go through all the cards and kind of fix them, right? For that refactor. So upgraded hand degree doesn't cost 2. But yeah, I'll do that before the next episode. And next episode we'll probably add the fuzzy worm crawler, so we're not always fighting the Nibbit. We're not always fighting the 3 slimes for our easy pool fights, right? And then yeah, like that'll just allow us to add one easy pool fight for now, because I guess the fuzzy worm crawler, the hard pool fight is with the shrinker bug, right? We don't have the shrinker bug yet, so maybe shrinker bug will be in the near future. Although we still need to finish our nail options too, with the large capsule, small capsule, everything else, and then replace more Slay the Spire 1 events. Replace Slay the Spire 1 events with Slay the Spire 2 events, because as we got the Shining Light, right? Eventually we're going to have to replace that. But for now, yeah, I'll just call it here, and then I'll fix the upgraded cost to adjust for our refactor before the next episode. Yeah, until next time.